before moving to install Windows operating system in VMware Player, one step remaining related to Kali Linux. And because Kali Linux will be one of the main tools that we're going to use besides some other tools, so we need to make sure that it's updated and all the tools are upgraded. The point is, installing Kali Linux in VMware was quite easy. I just downloaded the virtual machine and I just opened it, and it was not a problem. But usually the next step will be to update all the program repository in Kali Linux. So let's see how to do that. So I'm just going to open the virtual machine. And don't forget that the username was root and the password was tour. So the username is root and the password is tour. I already shared the credential in the previous lecture, and I attached a file that include all username and password. And this step may take sometimes only the first time. So when we're going to do that right now, it may take few minutes or maybe more, but only for the first time. Next time you start Linux, it will be okay. You don't have to repeat that. And even if you repeat it, it will not take that much of time. So what we're going to do, we open Kali Linux and we're going to open a terminal. And we need to type the following command. It has to be done on 2 different steps. And what this command will do, it will update and upgrade all the program in Kali Linux, so you will be up to date with any applications that you are using. So what you're going to do, you're going to type this command, apt -get update, and then once he finishes, you're going to type apt -get upgrade. And as I told you, the first time you are doing that, because he's checking all the repository, the program repository, it will take time. He's updating and upgrading everything. Sometimes it may take 45 minutes or maybe 1 hour. So we'll keep it running until it's finished, and then we can move to the next lecture, which is configuring Windows virtual machine. And then we have our lab up and running. Then we can move to the next section. First section in this course will be how to set up our lab. The lab, it's divided to 2 different parts. We have a virtual lab that will be installed on your PC, and this will be a VMware player that have Kali Linux inside. And also we need to install our Android platform, and we're gonna do that in 2 different lectures. So let's start by set up Kali Linux in a virtual machine in our computer as the first part of the lab setting. First, we need to install Kali Linux software, and you can Google it, type download Kali Linux, and you can go to their official website, which is kali.org. You go there and you will find different Kali Linux for 64 or 32-bit virtual machine or a virtual hard drive. So what you're going to do, you're going to install the 32-bit. It doesn't matter the operating systems that you have on your machine. You may have an operating system which is 64, but it doesn't matter, because after all, we're going to install this image inside the virtual machine. So I want you to download this Kali Linux 32-bit. There is different way for downloading. You're going to click on ISO, and as you can see, you're going to start downloading that. It's around 3 GB, but I already downloaded, so I will save you time. And this is Kali Linux after downloading it. Second step, it's to download and install virtual machine or VMware player. So you can do the same. You can go to download VMware player, and it's a free software. And if you was one of my enrolled students, most probably you went through that before, so you don't need to repeat such step. So you go to, I'm sorry, you should not type 32. I don't think they have a 32. But you can go to their official website and you can download the latest version. This is the VMware player. They have version 12 right now. So you just download it, player for Windows 64 for Linux. Since we have Windows, you're gonna download this one and install it. So those are the first two softwares that you need to install. After installing the VMware player, sorry, not the workstation, I want you to install the VMware player. Yeah, this is the one, right? Yeah, player, exactly, yeah, this is the right one. Once you install VMware player, you download it and install it, it will look like this. So you open the VMware player, and when the VMware player have been installed the first time, you should not find any images on the left pane. So this one should be empty. But since mine is an old one and I did install many virtual machines inside, that's why I have a lot of entry here. But in your case, if you just install VMware player, it should be empty. So now we need to set up Kali Linux inside your virtual machine player. So you go to create a new virtual machine and you choose the last option, which is I will install the operating system later, and you click on next. We're going to choose from here which operating system. In our case, it will be Linux. And from the menu here, you should choose other 2.6 kernel, this one. And you click on next. Then you can give him here any name. You can name it Kali Android, Kali Hacking Course. Or you can just name it Kali, but actually since I have a name, I have a course with the same name or a virtual machine with the same name, so it will be a problem. But in your case, if this is new, you can name whatever you want. This is optional actually, and this will be the names that will be showing on the left pane. And I usually suggest to save the virtual image in any drive except C, because most probably it will increase and it will fill the drive, and if the C drive gets filled, you will start having problems. So in my case, I have an external hard drive. I'm going to install it on this external hard drive. And you click on next. This one is 8. It's better to increase it a little bit, maybe 12 or 15. And finish. So now, as you can see, we created a virtual machine, except it's empty. It's like you bought a computer that doesn't have an operating system. So if you power on, nothing will start. But before installing the Kali Linux inside, you need to go to setting here. And you need to set up your virtual machine. This is like you are creating a virtual machine that is taking resources from your physical machine. So what I need to do first, when it comes to memory, instead of 256, which is very, very low amount of memory, you need to increase it. I'll make it 2 because I have 16 GB, but it depends about how much memory do you have in your computer. So if you only have 4 or 2, I think 1 GB will be okay. Then you should go to the CD-ROM here, and usually the default setting will be he's using the physical drive. So you need to change that, and you need to change, I'm going to use an ISO image. And you need to point to the Kali Linux ISO image that we downloaded from the official website. So you go there. For me, I did save the image on the H drive in a folder called ISO. Here you go, and Kali. And we click on OK. So first you need to change the memory. Then you need to go to the CD DVD and point to the ISO image that you downloaded from the official website. Now you set to go to launch the Kali Linux virtual machine and to install the Kali Linux in such virtual machine. So we're going to right click on it and you're going to power on. Once you get that, you will get different option here. So what you're going to do is that you're going to choose to install a graphical interface. So you go to install graphical Linux. Sorry, it's not that clear. Let me wear my glasses. You can run it as a live CD, but this will actually be a temporary. So whenever you shut down the computer, it will remove whatever you created. So you need to go to the installation, but graphical install. So you need to go to this one and click on enter. I'll guide you until it starts the installation, but the process usually takes around 45 minutes. So once he starts the installation, we're going to pause the video until he finishes. It's a straightforward installation, just like Windows. And once he finishes installation, I'm going to show you how to increase the screen size so it will not disturb you. First thing he's asking about the language, so it's English unless you need to change that. He's asking about your location. All those options can be changed later on, but let's keep the default right now. So he's now starting checking the configuration and loading the component for the installation. As I mentioned, it may take around 45 minutes once you finish the basic setup and leave him installing the Kali. Okay, now what is the computer name? You can keep the default Kali, or if you need to change it, the domain name, keep it empty. Nothing, actually no input will be given from your side except this step where you need to add root password. This is mandatory, it's not option. So you can put whatever password you want twice, and this will be the root password. Root in Linux, if you are not aware of that, it's like an administrator in Windows. So when you add a root account or log in as a root on your system, you're gonna have full access to it. And everything's still the same. Timing, checking the disk. Okay. So he's gonna say that we're gonna use the entry disk and everything will be deleted, but this will be the virtual disk. So you don't have to worry about your physical disk. This is completely different. You're gonna use this drive, fine. And all file will be deleted, no problem. Finish partitioning and change to disk, okay. Partition disk, write the partition to the disk. This option is better to choose yes. I think he start copying the file. This will take time, maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes, depend about the amount of memory you allocated for this disk. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to pause the video until he finish installing that. I'm going to show you how to log in and change the. So he almost finished the installation. Here he's asking you if you need to install the network mirror. This is actually an excellent tool, so you should keep it. Click on continue. And this is if you are working behind a proxy. Right now we are not, so we'll keep the default. And we're going to pause it one more time. Another question about the bootloader. Also, you're going to keep the default. You notice that we are keeping the default in most of the options. Only things that need input from your side, like password or something like that, you have to write them down. This one, you choose the second one. And almost there. And finally, installation is completed. So let's continue. He's finalizing the process. Just few seconds more. Installation has been completed and the machine has been restarted automatically. And now we're going to wait until it starts and log in and make sure that the Kali Linux is working fine. Next lecture, I'm going to show you how to modify the desktop or change the resolution setting in a comfortable way for you. So let's wait until it loads. Once you finish the installation, next step will be to set up your workspace. Usually when you install Kali for the first time, the resolution will be very low, as you can see. So I'm just going to show you how to set up your workspace, and then you can change it the way you want. When you open Kali Linux for the first time, you have a menu here where most of the tools are there. And we have a bar on the left part of the screen where you can launch the major program, and down here you have to show all the application. Those are some shortcut, exactly like Windows, and you click here, it will show you all the application. But also, if you are not able to find whatever you're looking for, you can search here, you can type whatever you want. So you can run setting, or you can type setting. And setting in Linux look exactly like control panel in Windows. So all options related to change the colors, the resolutions, the mouse, the sound, everything is here. And we can go from display. This is the desktop that we have so far. Click on it and you can change the resolution for here. Now it's very low, 600 into 800. You can change it to something higher. For instance, let's take this one and click on apply. And as you can see, it's bigger. If you don't like it, you can revert and change something else. So you can go change, for instance, this one and click on apply. And so on. So you can choose whatever size you want. This will be the first step to change your display to something more suitable for you. Then, actually this is quite big, but you are getting the point. Since most of the command and most of the tools that we will be using will be used from a terminal, where you right click here and you open a terminal, and you can from here type the command. Also, this terminal size and the font size need to be changed. If you are okay with it, fine. But if you need to change it, you can go to edit, and then you can go to profile preference. And from here, you will see that you can change the color, the background color, the writing color, and you can even change the font, any font you like, and you can change the size. So this one is like 12. Let me make it, and select and close. And as you can see, it's bigger now. So my point is that the workspace can be changed easily, and actually it's very similar to Windows. I mean, you can even change the background. You can click on background and change the picture on the background, the lock screen picture. So just navigating around and start configuring your workspace, because actually, you'll be spending a long time working there, so you need to have a comfortable environment. So this is how to set up your workspace in Kali Linux. So as you can see, he finished the update process. Now we're going to repeat the command, but we're going to type, instead of update, upgrade. Let me clear the screen. Sorry about that. I was just trying to change the resolution, but let me first launch the upgrade command. Clear. and you can type the command one more time, but instead of update, you're gonna type upgrade. Now, by doing that, you are now updating and upgrading all the program in Kali Linux to the latest version. So if you run a vulnerability assessment or a penetration testing, you'll be doing that with the latest release of all Kali Linux application. So it just need to be done one time after opening the virtual machine for the first time. If you receive any message, just click on yes. And by doing that, you are getting the latest Kali Linux release, and then it's ready to be used. So we'll keep it running. Then we're going to move to the next lecture, which is how to configure the Windows virtual machine. Before diving into Kali Linux, let me explain to you what are the 4 different phases of penetration testing. When you do a penetration testing, you have to go through 4 different phases, and each phases depend on the previous phase. So any penetration testing consists of, first phase is the reconnaissance phase. Reconnaissance phase is the phase where you start collecting or gathering information about your victim, and those should be passive information. We're going to explain exactly what is passive information. Once I finish collecting those passive information, we're going to start the scanning phase. And scanning is also collecting and gathering information, except in this phase will be active information. And one more time, later on, we're going to explain what is the difference between passive and active. But during the first 2 phases, we're going to spend time and effort, and we're going to utilize all Kali Linux tool to gather information about our victim. Depending on those information, we're going to start the exploitation process. So I know that the victim has a specific operating system, and this operating system has a specific weakness. So let me try to exploit the system, hack the system through this weakness. I know that the victim is using a specific version of Acrobat Reader, for instance, and this Acrobat Reader, it's vulnerable and can be hacked. So I'm going to hack his own system through this victim. This is called exploitation. And once I get access to the system, once I compromise the system, the final phase will be the post-exploitation. So if I compromise the system through a weakness inside the browser, if the victim closes the browser, he will cut me off, and that's it. But I need to maintain my access. I need to do whatever it takes to become permanently on this system. So I need to migrate one of my process to a system process. So victim will not be able to disconnect me from the session. How can we do that? We're going to explain during Kali Linux those 4 different phases in depth using Kali Linux tool. So please consider that penetration testing, it's not a random process where you should start this tool and that tool. No, it's a very organized process. And when you write your report, as you're going to see by the end of this course, you need to mention what was the output of each phases during the reconnaissance. What was your output? What was your finding? And what is your recommendation? During the scanning, what was the result of the scanning? What port and service are open? What operating system, network topology, and what do you recommend? And how hacker can utilize that? Exploitation, how you were able to exploit the system, using which vulnerability. And usually we do not just use one vulnerability. We check for many vulnerability and try all of them. So it's not like I was able to find a vulnerability or a weakness in the system and I compromise it. But this will be a proof of concept. But for me, I need to know all the vulnerability on the system. or most of them, and try to exploit most of them, because if one is not working, maybe the second will be working, maybe the third will be working. So I need to have a different plan. And finally, how I was able to maintain my access on the system. So those will be our blueprint that we will be using from now on during the penetration testing. And by the end of this course, I'm going to show you some real penetration testing report. I'm going to remove the name of the company and maybe the name of URL or anything that should not be showing. But I will show you how, using those different phases, you can write a professional penetration testing report. From time to time, you will need to search for a file or a script or a program in Kali Linux. How can we do that? There is 3 different ways for searching in Linux, and definitely you need to be aware of them before starting the penetration testing process. So the first way is a graphical way, the easy way. You click on the file manager, you go there and you search. So assume that I'm looking for a file called password, and the password file is written this way, PASSWD. So when I searched in the file manager, he didn't get me anything, because he only searched in the specific folder where you are located. Now I am inside my home folder, so he only gonna search inside home folder, while I know that the password file are in etc folder. So I can specify, or I have to specify the search location first. So if I go and click on other location and click computer, that means he gonna search in all those folder, right? And I go one more time, search, and I search for the file, password, and he gonna get me all the file named password from different location. It could be a folder, it could be a file. And this is similar to Windows actually. I mean, in Windows, if you open the Explorer from here and you search, so assuming that I'm searching in my desktop and I type any file name, he will search only on the desktop. While if I click on this PC, for instance, if I click on any other location like this PC and I type a file name, he gonna search in all the drive, all the disk, and all the location. So it's the exact same concept in searching, that you have to specify the location. Then there is 2 different tools, 2 different commands that also will help you to search. The best one is called locate. So locate, and you type any file name and he will search in all the directory, and it doesn't matter where you are located, in which folder you are located, he will search everywhere. But before using locate, you need to type this command, update db. And this command actually, update b. This command will build the database for file and directory. So before using locate, you just need to type this command, and you do that only one time. It's not like every time you are using locate, you have to build the database for a file and directory, local file and directory. No, it's done one time once you start using Kali Linux, and that's it. Now let's see, if I type locate, and before typing locate, I can type this command, pwd, which means print working directory. I mean where I am located right now. So the cursor, or I am located inside the root, under the main root, inside the root folder. So if I type here locate and the same file name, which is password, it's not like he will only search inside this root folder, he will search everywhere. So he search inside the root, he search inside the user share, he search inside the variable, he search everywhere including the etc, and he gave me all the file under the same name. Could be the VNC password, it could be just password file, it could be, so he searched everywhere. So locate, the good advantage of using locate that he's searching everywhere. The third, as you can see, the third comment, or the second comment, and the third way that I wanted to show you for searching is called find. So let me clear my screen and let me use the find. Find, it's a little bit aggressive. I mean, you have to specify the location, you have to specify the file name. So if I type find, okay, and I click on enter, he will search for everything. While if I, let me clear the screen one more time. If I type find, and then I put the location, mean inside the root, inside the etc, then minus name, so I'm searching by file name, and I type the file name, password. He will search only in the etc folder. So the output will be that I find 3 different files, password and password and password. One is inside this folder, subfolder, and one is inside the etc, the main folder, and so on. So the advantage of files that you can specify exactly what you are looking for and where. And I can use this white card character, so I can, for instance, search for any files that start with P, and I put the star. Star mean everything that start with P letter, and he will search for anything. Actually, I think we need to type like P A S. So I'm telling him I need to search for all the files that start with PAS. So you can use the sign as all. So find will give you option to specify what you are looking for. Locate are searching everywhere, and you have the graphical way. Use whatever you are suitable, whatever is suitable for you, whatever you feel comfortable using it. But you're going to see later on that we're going to need to use those searching command from time to time.